I had a meeting. I had to meet another agent
Okay.
because we were bringing agents on board, and I said yes to the appointment, thinking it was right off the highway. And when I got to the house, I'm like, oh, this is gonna make me late because it's 20 minutes in, like from the highway.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Sometimes those little
Yeah,
little changes
that
can
little
definitely
change. I was
affect.
like, oh yeah, like
Tell me a little bit about first of all, your hair. I love your hairstyle.
thank you.
The haircut and the style is very, very like it just makes you look cooler.
I
You
appreciate
could be a
that.
completely boring guy, but your
Yeah,
haircut just
that's
makes you look cooler.
yeah. Deion Sanders said it. Do you know Deion Sanders, the football player? He
Yeah.
said, you look good, you feel good, you do everything else better.
There we go.
So I live by that motto.
There we go.
Like you have to try at least. Yeah, appreciate it.
I love that. Tell me a little bit about how you got into real estate and just the fun projects that you're working on right now.
Oh, absolutely. I got into real estate. So I want to say it's by accident because I actually never had any intention to be a realtor. I got in 2004 because I wanted to invest. And I actually wanted to invest in the stock market. But the only person who I knew who could help me with that back in 2004, she wasn't available. So I started reading books about investing in real estate by accident. And so I started investing in real estate. After my first property, I decided to get a license. And that's pretty much how the story started. People saw that I was starting to invest in real estate. They asked for my help, and I started helping clients left and right. And that was 2004 all the way to like 2009, 2010 when the market, 2008 when the market crashed.
Wow.
That's how I started.
That's awesome.
I remember I didn't want to be a realtor. I thought one of my best friends from high school became a realtor, and I made fun of him. 6 months later, I was a realtor.
6 months later, you're like, I got the.
Or like a year
realtor
later,
check,
I was like,
got the-
oh, I'm a realtor now. That's funny, you know.
Yeah.
But
understand.
yeah, balancing life is not easy, right? It's like an ongoing project or like an ongoing challenge. It's like, all right, how do you balance life, health, relationships, and your business because it's all different parts of your life.
And your mental health too.
And your mental health, right? And then your body health and your mental health and your emotions. And how do you balance all that? So it's just like what I find is like, and then the more successful you are, if you're like a business owner, it's also lonely because there's not many people you can talk to. So just surrounding myself with people that I can trust, people, my peer group who are other people who are successful has been like one of the things that I'm really
How are you doing that?
through networking and through relationships.
Are you in any type of like mentorship, masterminds?
Absolutely. Actually, that's one of my secrets to actually growing a successful business was.
All right, spill the tea.
Well, that's the tea right there, right? So I ended up writing a book about it too. Back in 2014, I wrote a book about my journey of finding a mentor. And this mentor one day had emailed me back in like 2011. I was a struggling agent. I was selling like 5 homes a year, barely making it. And I got an email from him. And he said, Jonathan, it's one of those like automated emails. So I know it's not like actually customized to me, but my name was on it. So I read it. And it says, I'll show you how to get people to want to work with you. Come to my event. So I came to the event. And one of the things I never did before was I never paid for coaching. I never paid for somebody to actually show me how to do stuff because I figured I was like 20, I think I was 30 years old at the time. And I was like, I'm young enough, I can figure this stuff myself, right? I didn't want to pay anybody to like show me how to do it. But that changed my life when I hired him as my coach / mentor. It was a shortcut. Instead of like trying to figure stuff out myself, he's like, no, just copy this. Copy exactly how I did it. And it was a shortcut to success. If you want a shortcut to success, find a mentor. Find somebody who already did and accomplished what you want and copy it, right? And even if it means you have to pay that person a lot of money, that a lot of money is money well spent because you're gonna not have to spend your energy, waste your mental health, right? You don't have to go through all the failures on your own. You have somebody that you can pick their brain on. Even better if that person's local.
Yeah.
If that person's here doing what you want to do, that's even better because then they already experienced the market in your local market, and if that person's willing to share everything that made them successful, it'll make you successful.
It's even better
you
now.
know?
Do you mentor other people now?
I do
you
mentor a lot.
programs?
I
Okay.
do, yeah. So that's one of the things that we do. So at the Fine Living Group, one of our things is we help inspire and empower our partners to help them achieve fine living. So that's actually our mission statement.
I like it.
Is to help them
I was
achieve
gonna say,
fine
tell me
living.
more.
Yeah. So the fine living is like everybody has a different idea of what fine living is, right?
Yeah.
People think, oh, fine living means maybe I own a yacht, maybe I go on vacations, maybe. But honestly, fine living can be defined in whatever you
I
want.
have a chicken farm.
You have a chicken farm, right, in the backyard on a 2-acre lot, and that's fine
Right.
living for you. Awesome. Some people's like, hey, fine living means I'm in the penthouse unit overlooking the Potomac River in downtown DC, and that's fine living. Great. For some people, it's like paying off my mortgage, paying off my credit cards, being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, wherever I want to go, and that's fine living. You define what fine living is to you. My job in our organization is I'm going to help mentor you. I'm going to help you figure out where you are and where you want to go and what's in the way.
I love that.
And then I share all my strategies that help me get to where I am. I'm like, here's the blueprint.
Yeah.
And you get to pick my brain.
And that blueprint is so important because a lot of times people can hit a certain level of success and they will cap themselves right there because they continue doing more of what got them there.
Yeah.
And sometimes most of the times that's not the right things. You've got to do something completely different in
Absolutely.
order to get. Otherwise, you'll just stay here. Year after year, you'll stay here. Right? And so that's why good mentors, good mentorships, good programs
Yep.
will give you that blueprint to say, all right, you've reached success at level 1. Now
Yep.
it's time to go to level 2.
And the thing's like, you don't know what level 2 is until you hit level 1.
100%.
And so like, I remember making my first million in 1 year.
Wow.
And it was always like the goal I always wanted to achieve because that's what they talk about
Yeah.
at all these conferences, right? Be a million, like make $1 million in a year.
Yeah.
It was December 31st, 5 p.m., and we were at $997,000 gross commission for the year. December 31st, and I'm like, not gonna make it. At 5 p.m., I got a call from the lender, and he's like, hey, we're clear to close, go to the closing table. And we broke $1 million. I broke $1 million in 1 year.
Wow.
In commission. And I remember the feeling of like, I was so ecstatic and excited. The next morning I woke up, I'm like, I just reset it back to zero. There's got to be something better than this, right? It's like the excitement only lasts for so long before you realize the end of level 1. Now, do you want to reset back to like square one, or are you going to make your goal bigger? Are you willing to commit to the next level of whatever that achievement is? You know, is it more money? Is it giving back? Is it something else that's more meaningful than just money? Whatever it is, right? And so like right now, it's not just money for me. It's like, all right, I wanna be healthy. It's the relationships. It's, yeah, the money is there too, but I also want to help other agents be successful. So right now we have over 100 agents around the country that I'm mentoring.
Wow.
And that makes me excited.
Amazing.
You know, what makes me smile and wake up every morning is like, I get to play a role in all these real estate agents' lives in helping them be successful. It's not just about me anymore.
And I think that's such an amazing way to shift your life in a different way where it's not just about the money and it's not just about taking care of yourself, but now you're pouring into other people. And something else I wanted to touch on as you were talking about like, okay, you hit that $1 million, and I've heard that story.
Yeah.
You shared that story before. And that whole resetting, it's like, I think where most entrepreneurs or real estate agents, anybody who's bringing in their own money for the most part, you think, oh gosh, does that mean I have to work harder?
Exactly.
I just completed this big goal and I worked so hard to get here. And is this going to be like Groundhog's Day that it just resets and I got to do it all over again?
Right.
But as I'm sure you coach and mentor your team, it's like, no, there's just, you're going to get to that million and not have to work so hard. That way you can hit 2.5.
Exactly.
Or you can hit whatever other goal, but you're going to learn from what you did and we're going to make it easier. We're going to put some shortcuts in there.
You said it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And it was like, you're right. I'm like, so I reset it back to zero on January. This was December 31st. I hit my goal. January 1st, I'm like, well, back to zero. So do I want to double that? I don't want to work double. I'm like, I don't really want to, because I felt like I already work as hard as I can just to make that first million in a year. I'm like, so 2 million means I have to work double? I'm going to get sick. And so I had to learn how to then leverage the power of leveraging people, technology, systems, and processes, and making sure. Now I'm very specialized in what I do, right? Yeah. I coach my agents, I mentor them, but I leverage.
Can you give me 3 tips, right? I'll give you 3 freebies.
Oh, 3 freebies, huh?
3 freebies for agents that might be watching this, or I'm sure this is going to be able to be applicable to any business owner.
Yeah.
Of just little things that you could do in the next week or month that could help shift your life forward.
The first thing is find a mentor. Like that's like I'm most powerful. If I'm ever stuck in a place where I feel like I'm not growing, I always look at my surroundings. I'm like, do I have a mentor? Do I have a coach that's keeping me accountable?
Yeah.
That's number one. Find a mentor as quickly as possible. You don't have to stay with that mentor for life. Some mentors are there for a season for you. Some are for a lifetime for you.
How do you know a good mentor versus a one that maybe you need to replace quickly? Like, what's the good signs of a good mentor?
They can keep you accountable
Okay.
because not everybody can. I'm sure you've had that situation before where that person could be inspiring, but that person can't keep you accountable. The accountability is the most important part. They can inspire you, but inspiration without accountability doesn't do anything. So having somebody who can speak to you, to your life, and say, hey, did you do this?
Yeah.
Your commitment last week was to complete this. Did you do it? And you respect him or her enough to actually show up. So if you cannot show up, it's either you or it's the mentor, right? But that's the most key point, right? Just find a mentor, somebody that you respect, there's somebody that you listen to, and somebody when they call you out, you listen. And by the way, the best mentors will say things that you don't want to hear. So if that mentor just tells you all the things you want to hear, find another mentor.
You say it with such a nice smile, by the
No,
way.
it's serious, right? It's like, it's the person who calls you out that's actually can call you out and tell you the things you don't ever want to hear is the mentor who's going to get you to where you want to go. Because otherwise, they're just giving you all the bullshit. Sorry. They're just going to tell you all the sweet stuff that you already know anyways.
Yeah.
Right? They're just patting you in the back. Hey, good job, good job. No, you don't need somebody to tell you're doing a good job. You know you're doing a good job or not without a mentor. You need somebody to just be like, hey, why didn't you do it?
Yeah.
That's it right there, right? The other part is right now being consistent. You want to be successful in life. You want to be successful as a business owner, real estate agent, real estate business owner, whatever it is. Most entrepreneur, and I'm sure you agree with this, it's not that we're not consistent.
Oh, it's because it's that.
It's because we love the shiny new object, right? We're like, oh, look at that. That's sexy. I want that. And that one looks good. I'm going to go over here. And oh, that tool, I'm going to spend $1,000 for because that's going to make me $1 million. And then you go all over the place. You don't need all those things. You need to have 3 things to focus on. 3 or 4 things, and you focus on it consistently every single day. You'll make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. You can go as big as you want. Yeah. But you have to be consistent. Like somebody asked me this, somebody interviewed me the other day. They're like, John, what's your theme right now? I'm like, consistency. Yeah. We all need it. We all need it. I need it. You need it. Everybody who's listening to this, consistency. If you can just consistently show up,
you're going to win.
Go. And then the third part is show up. Show up. The hardest thing anybody has to struggle with every single day is showing up. Everybody, because they have to choose every morning, what am I going to do? Am I going to show up to what I'm committed to do? Or am I going to make an excuse or a story? You want to be successful? Show up. That's it. Yeah. Show up, be consistent, and find a mentor.
I love it. Do you have a special morning routine, or are you like roll out of bed and hit the ground running type guy?
No, I don't. I'm not the kind of guy that rolls out of bed and get the ground. I don't do that. I do have a morning routine. I do make my coffee. Yeah. You know Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
So Tony Robbins kind of changed my life. So I learned from him what his morning routine is. He's still doing it, and that's the same morning routine that I do. I do priming every morning. So I do breathing exercise. I visualize what I want for the day. I go through my gratitudes, like what am I thankful for? Because when you're in a right state, you're more likely to get a lot of things done and actually have a good day versus you coming in like tired and like slow and in a bad place. Yeah. So breathing exercise, gratitude, and then visualizing what I want to accomplish.
That. Yeah, I got to get my kids into.
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to Tony Robbins. I'm crewing his Unleash the Power event in a week in nice. Dallas. It's gonna be my first time actually serving in one of his events. Usually, I'm an attendant. I attend the event. This time around, I get to serve, and I'm actually excited to be in the other side of the show.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be such an experience for you.
It'll be great.
In terms of like if you were giving advice to a business owner who, I know you gave us the 3 tips of how to move your life forward, but in terms of like, besides those 3 things, what would you say to them marketing wise?
I like this.
They can include or change.
Okay. Marketing and branding is like, I love marketing and I love branding. One of the things that I had to learn is that the brand is like, it could be the color, it could be the logo, it could be the message, but whatever your message is, it has to answer the biggest fear that your ideal clientele has. So you have to know what their biggest fears are, and you have to know what makes them happy.
How do you find that out?
You have to know your people. You have to know your clientele. I can't tell you how you figure it out. You have to do your research. Find out what their biggest fears are.
Do you ask them?
Ask them, survey them, talk to them, figure out, so like in real estate, talk to the sellers. Find out what their biggest fears are. And a lot of times, whatever their biggest fears are, they don't tell you on the first question.
I was going to say, do you just ask?
You just
what are their biggest
ask.
fears?
Hey, how can I help you? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why are you thinking of selling? But really, what are you thinking of selling?
Yeah.
And go deeper on the questions. With homeowners, their biggest fear right now is like, what if I can't find a home that I can buy?
Yeah.
Right? There's not enough inventory out there. So our message has to answer their biggest fear. That's marketing. If you want to attract people to you, speak the language that answers their fears. That's the benefit. That could be your brand. So our brand for the longest time, and it still is you know what? Your home sold guarantee, or I'll buy it. Because that's one of their fears. It's like, what if I buy a home and I can't sell my home? What if I'm stuck owning 2 homes? What if I sell my home and there's no home out there? Don't worry about that. I'll guarantee your home.
Yeah.
So that way you can move. It'll be a smooth transition over to the next house, right? That's why our marketing speaks to their biggest fears. Business owners do the same thing. Whether you want to do marketing and it's like a special 30-day like sale that you're doing, just make it so that it solves someone's problem. And that's going to be the most powerful message you can have out there.
You know, I think that's the most important thing that you can do in marketing,
Yeah.
and you are the first person who said that.
Really?
So I'm so happy to hear. You know, just as a little hack shortcut for listeners that are like, oh crap, I need to get it together. I haven't really asked those questions. Something that I found is you can actually use ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
And ask, like literally ask, especially, I don't know the free version, but I know I'm on the paid version one.
Yeah.
And you can actually say, you know, give me 10 fears and
Yep.
objections, and you got to say your demographic, your market, what it is that you offer.
Yeah.
And it does a pretty good job.
It does.
Yeah.
So actually, if you go on my YouTube, I do all these. We release like 2 to 3 videos a week.
What's your YouTube channel called?
On the real estate side, for real estate agents, it's Road to Real Estate Success. On the consumer side, for buyers and sellers, I think it's called Real Estate Marketing with John Lahey. Okay. And so we have 2 different channels, and we release 2 to 3 videos every single week for both channels. So we do like 5 to 6 weekly total.
You're a busy man.
And those videos are pretty much, I just ask ChatGPT, what's the biggest fears these people are having right now? And then I just talk about it.
Yeah.
So like yesterday, it's like, hey, here's the 4 things you have to do if you're a real estate agent, you want to be successful in 2023, 2024. You focus on these 4 things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because this is your fear right now. How do I become successful in a market that, quote unquote, people are saying is going to crash, or in this market that is like slowing down? I'm like, here's the 4 things you have to focus on, right? And it's just based straight on like, hey, I use ChatGPT, just like you said. Yeah. What's their fears right now?
Yeah.
And then you answer it.
Yeah.
And so your marketing can be on like social media. It could be on print media. But right now, we do a lot on videos. Mm-hmm. We do YouTube and
Why videos?
So if people see your print, they're still going to Google you. Yeah. Right? And when they Google you, YouTube is one of the most powerful medias that's out there right now. So you could be on social. So our YouTube video, we also upload to Facebook. We also upload as Reels on Instagram. We also upload we also share it on LinkedIn. So it's on so many different channels. But YouTube, they get to see you as a motion picture. They don't just see a story of you and read about you. They don't just see your print media, which is like on a postcard, and they see a photo of you with your messaging. Now they get to experience you speaking. They get to hear that you're actually an actual human being versus just an idea. That's why YouTube is so important in our marketing right now. It's like, you know what? Everything that you've heard about me, now you get to see the real person talking about it.
I think it's brilliant. Obviously, we're sitting here doing a video together.
Right, and this is a video right now. I'm like, I'd love this opportunity to like just be in front of you because people get to see us as humans.
Exactly. No,
it humanifies.
It does. It humanizes, like the picture, the photo on the business cards or in front of the houses.
Yeah.
They've got their sign writers and all that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a big proponent of video content, but I just like hearing it from other people, like what they think.
And the thing is, like, I was told, it was like 2018, my mentor, right? I paid a boatload of money. We flew together to California. We're in Huntington Beach in California, and we sat down at the conference room, and he said, Jonathan, you should start doing videos. And I remember I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Because in my head, I'm like, it's so much work. Yeah. Or I was scared. The other part's like, I was scared to be on video. So I'm like, sure, I'll do it. I kind of blew him off. And I took notes. And he's like, you need to do videos. And this is what you need to do. And he gave me the whole blueprint. He's like, just do it. He's like, commit to it. I'm like, sure. It took me 2 years. 2 years later, he's like, Jonathan, have you done it yet? I'm like, what? He's like, the videos. I'm like, no. So I started doing the videos in the middle of the COVID year. So 2020, when the whole world shut down and I had nowhere to go and everybody's afraid. And I'm like, this is a great opportunity to talk to people's fears. Yeah. What is going to happen to the real estate market? So I started shooting videos from my living room. I remember the first video I shot. It was a 30-second video that took me 2 hours. Because I'm like, no, not good enough. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about,
totally
right?
Do.
My first video was so discouraging. I'm like, if this is how it's going to work, I'm never shooting videos. Until I was like, you know what? Just get over it. Just do the one take shot. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, just laugh whenever you mess up, just laugh. People love the fact that you're not like perfect. People don't seek perfection, by the way. People want to work with people that reminds them of themselves, and nobody's perfect. So I realized that I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna giggle or laugh. I'm just gonna smile every time I say or like whatever. Just be human. Yeah. And now we're just doing videos left and right. And I'm not perfect in any of them. People make fun of me all the time when they see my video. Like, I saw you mess up there. I'm like, yeah, that was by design. Where nobody's perfect,
Now, what's your setup look like? Are you doing it at home? Do you have a team helping you?
So I do my shots. Most of the time will be in my dining room. So I would stand in front of an accent wall, like the one that we are at right now. So like this, I'd stand in front of a wall like this. I will have my my ring, and I'll put my phone in front of it, and I just read from my teleprompter.
Easy as that.
Easy as that.
I tell people all the time. It does not have to be complicated.
And my teleprompter's on my phone.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Do you use Big View?
I use Big View.
Okay.
Yep. I use Big View. I use ChatGPT. I come up with the ideas from what ChatGPT will tell me. Here's the biggest fears, or here's the topics, and then I'll work with ChatGPT to come up with the content, and I'll clean it up to make sure it sounds like me, and I put on Big View. So that whole thing per video will take me about 30 minutes to prepare and shoot if I'm writing the script. And then after I shot, the shot will take usually one take and I'm done because I don't care anymore. On days where I'm really picky, it might take me like four takes, but usually it's one take. And the videos are usually like within 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes long max.
Nice.
And then I'll take that video, the raw video and the script, and I send it to my editor. And then so he has a spreadsheet of all the videos that he's going to publish in a week.
And then he just does his magic. And
he does his magic,
publishes it.
Comes out with the captions, comes out with all looking pretty, all the B-rolls there. When I talk about houses, there's a video of people showing houses. That's not me. When we're talking about clients, there's people looking at houses with clients. He has all the B-roll part of already done for me.
You just show up with your pretty face
That's
and read
all.
off the...
And the actual shooting is like 3 minutes long. Like the actual work's 3 minutes long.
That's amazing.
So I usually do my shoots on Tuesdays after my sales meeting, and I'll just knock out like 6 videos at a time, and I send it in.
I love that.
Yeah, and sometimes my content is just based on what I talk to my agents about. So like yesterday, I shot a video that's literally based on what I just told my team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is good content. So I came back as I'm preparing my lunch. I'm like, let's prepare a script just for these 4 things. And I shot a video.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, makes it easy.
Especially if you're in the field doing it and...
Don't overthink it,
exactly.
Right? Don't overthink it. And it's like, people want to hear what you tell people in a natural setting. So I just take the stuff that I just told my team, and I shot a video.
That's amazing. It makes it easy, simple.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Before we wrap things up, is there any message specifically that you would like to share with the listeners, or any special projects or anything that's coming up that you want to touch on?
Oh gosh, don't give up. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. People, by the way, people think it's easy because it looks glorious from the outside looking in. They're like, oh, look at them. I know it's not easy to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy being a business owner. Just don't give up. And then like also the most important part, maybe not the most important, like is top 3, is be careful who you hang around with. Like your peer does matter. Your surroundings does matter. If you hang out with people who are responsible, you'll be responsible. If you hang out with people who are healthy, you'll be healthy. If you hang out with people who are not healthy, you'll be unhealthy too. So just as you're growing your business as an entrepreneur, like the one thing I can tell you, if you hang around with other entrepreneurs who don't believe that they can grow, you're gonna start believing that you cannot grow too. and it's vice versa. And that's what happened to me. One of the things that I learned back, I think it's like 2012. It was right after this conference, and I was sitting at the bar drinking my liquor, and I was trying with all these agents around me, and they're all saying how it is impossible in our market to apply what they just learned from stage. They're like, it's impossible. It's not gonna work here in the DMV. That's not gonna work. And I was like, what the heck? Because I'm really inspired at that time, and I looked to the other side of the bar, and I saw the other side of the bar were people on stage who made it work. So I picked up my drink and I went to the other side of the bar. I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna go over there. And I started hanging out with people who was making 10 times more than me. And at the time, I wasn't making a lot of money. And I went to the other side and they all became my peer. Until today, the people that I hang out with on the other side of the bar, I can still text and call last minute and be like, hey, I need you guys. And they'll be there. But what the best part is, their mindset became my mindset. The way they believe, what they believed in was possible, became my beliefs. What they thought was impossible, which is not much, became my beliefs. Their work ethic became my belief. Even the way they dressed, I was like, they all look different. People who are successful, they are different, right? So if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people, but like truly successful people, not just the one that look good, but it's also the beliefs. Do they have the beliefs and the attitude to make them successful? Like that's my biggest thing. And then
such an amazing piece of advice.
If you want to connect with me,
I was going to say, how can we find out more?
JohnLahey.com. JohnLahey.com, JohnLahey.com. That's going to take you to my Calendly. So if you want to talk to me and do a consultation with me on, if you're a real estate agent or a business owner and you want to like mastermind, brainstorm with me, I'd love to do that. Or if you're a homeowner that want to sell your home and you want to talk to somebody who help you figure out if it's the right time for you to sell or how to get the most money for your home, just go to johnlahey.com and then we'll schedule a time to sit down with me.
You're good. Because you're prepared.
This is what I do.
You worked on it.
I worked on it.
That's how you can help other people.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
That was awesome. High five.